What if Anakin Skywalker went to Kashyyyk with Yoda in Revenge of the Sith? That's what we're going to go over today. But first, the two winners from the giveaway to win the Dark Disciple novel. I've got them right here. First winner is the Banana Speedruns 9275. Great name. You can email me at thestarwarsgalaxy33@gmail.com. So do that. And then the second giveaway winner is Second Chance 5914. So same thing. Email me at thestarwarsgalaxy33@gmail.com. to get the novel. The members only giveaway winner will be announced in a member video today. Alright, let's get into it.
That's why I'm here.
Our story begins inside the Jedi Temple as Grandmaster Yoda is meditating in his quarters about the war, as he can feel it is finally in its final days. During his meditations, he wonders about Anakin Skywalker and his role in all of this. It is believed by many that Skywalker is the chosen one, and Yoda himself has begun to believe it as well. But this all makes him wonder something. Does the Sith Lord know of the Chosen One? Yoda thought that surely he must, as the Sith has been in hiding forever. He must know everything. And Yoda wondered if the Chosen One is part of the Sith's ultimate plan. And as Yoda got up to head to a council meeting, he decided perhaps he should take Skywalker from the Sith. In the council, the entire group was waiting for Anakin, who was headed back from Palpatine's office right now. Palpatine just used his powers to put Anakin on the Jedi Council as Palpatine's personal representative, and now the council was discussing options. Windu, Agen Kolar, and Ki-Adi-Mundi were adamantly in favor of having Anakin spy on Palpatine, but Obi-Wan objected, saying that this would be a betrayal of Anakin's trust. Yoda decided to take Obi-Wan's side, saying that perhaps instead of giving Palpatine what he wants with Anakin on Coruscant, Anakin go on a mission. The council listened to Yoda, and soon enough Anakin entered. He was given a seat, but denied the rank of master, which of course upset him greatly. Yoda could feel how upset Anakin was, and he wondered if it had something to do with the nightmares. Eventually, when discussions of Kashyyyk came up, Yoda said that he would go, and Anakin would be coming with him. Anakin was rather surprised, but Yoda and Obi-Wan nodded at him, showing a bit of trust, and soon enough, the meeting would end. Before Anakin could board the Republic cruiser to Kashyyyk, he stopped at Palpatine's office. Palpatine was discouraged to hear that Anakin was headed to Kashyyyk, and he began putting thoughts in Anakin's mind. He told Anakin that the Jedi do not trust him, and Palpatine said he fears that the Jedi are leading Anakin off-world so that they can take over without his interference. Anakin denied it, but a small part of him worried that this was true, and Palpatine told Anakin that if anything happens, he will be in contact, smiling warmly as Anakin left. And one more stop for Anakin, he went to Padme, telling her goodbye as he was already off to Kashyyyk on another mission. Padme didn't like this, but she gave Anakin a tracker in case he got lost or something terrible happened on this perhaps final battle of the war. And soon enough, in hyperspace, Anakin was going over battle plans with Commander Oppo and Gree when Yoda came walking over, asking Anakin for a word. Anakin followed Yoda to a small room, where Yoda asked Anakin what was motivating him to want to be a Jedi Master so badly. Anakin said that he felt he deserved the honor after everything he'd done in the war, killing Dooku, winning countless battles, and Yoda chuckled, telling Skywalker that he indeed is a great warrior, but wars do not make one great. To be a Jedi Master means passing on what one has learned, which Anakin has done with Ahsoka, but also having the knowledge and experience to understand what it truly means to be a Jedi. This honestly did upset Anakin. Why couldn't there be an exception for the greatest warrior in the entire order to be made a Jedi? And now Yoda asked if there was any other specific reason that Anakin wanted to be made a master. Anakin did hesitate before saying that he wants information in the restricted archives to stop his nightmares from coming true. Yoda jabbed his cane at Anakin, saying that if a Jedi tries to change the future, then they will be the ones to cause the outcome that they least desire. Anakin didn't believe this. He was all-powerful in his mind. If he wanted to save Padme, then he would. And he got up, telling Yoda he needs to be alone for now, and Yoda let him go. Yoda decided that perhaps Anakin's mind would be put at ease while he was distracted in battle, and he was right. The Battle of Kashyyyk would soon begin, as the Separatists were traveling through the water, targeting the Kashyyyk oil refinery. Yoda honestly hadn't seen Anakin in battle all too often, and he watched today, as Anakin flew his Jedi Starfighter across the water, not missing a shot on Vulture droids or Separatist tanks, and then flipping down to the beach, taking on waves of droids alone. As Anakin fought, Yoda was attending a new emergency council meeting that he would tell Anakin about later. As for now, Grievous had been located and the collective council decided to send Obi-Wan Kenobi and his troops to Utapau to take him out. Yoda and Windu then spoke alone, where Windu said that once Kenobi engages Grievous, he will go to the Chancellor and ask him to give up his emergency powers. The call ended, and Yoda returned his attention to the battle as Anakin continued to be the hero with no fear down below. And on Coruscant, Palpatine was adjusting his plans to make everything work. Initially, he planned to have Anakin stay on Coruscant and be here when the Jedi inevitably come to remove him from power. But with Anakin off-world, Palpatine knows he must adjust, and with this adjusting, he could not risk losing to whichever Jedi come to arrest him. He did have one advantage though. Whenever the Jedi do come to arrest him, they will not know that he is a Sith Lord, and he can catch them by surprise. Palpatine checked the clone reserves. Without the 501st on planet, it would be difficult to take the temple, but he decided to just have clone commandos, and he called a few other units back to Coruscant discreetly. The temple would be taken. Eventually, Obi-Wan was engaging Grievous, and Commander Cody informed Windu and the Jedi of this. Windu was tired of waiting around, and so he looked to Agen Kolar, Sazitin, and Kit Fisto, telling them it's time. If Anakin were here, then Mace would send him to Palpatine first, and the events would take longer to play out, but without him, the Jedi were going to go now and get him to drop his emergency powers. From the Jedi's point of view, Palpatine had stayed in office far too long, and was only getting more powerful. For the safety of the Republic, he must be stopped. And so, they took off, entering his office and telling him it was time to give up his emergency powers, or the Jedi would force him to do it. Palpatine stood up. The Jedi still had no idea he was a Sith. This was good. He hid his lightsaber in a statue, and now with a flick of his finger, he ignited it, and it flew across the room, cutting across Windu's eyes. He screamed in pain as Sidious spun through the air, grabbing his saber, and quickly discarding of Agen Kolar and Sazitin. Fisto was able to parry a few strikes from Sidious, as he was a very good duelist, but he alone could not hang on for long. Sidious cut off his arm, then stabbed Fisto through the heart, turning to the blinded Windu. Sidious taunted Windu, saying that he's been waiting for this moment for so long, and Windu moved forward, actually holding his own quite well, despite being blinded. But it would only last for so long. Sidious slammed a statue into Windu's head, then hit him with lightning, before spinning and decapitating the Jedi Master. Sidious relished in this feeling, then he put on a face of fear, and reached out to Anakin. On Kashyyyk, Anakin took a moment to recover, and he felt his comlink beeping. He answered to Palpatine, who looked scared and worried, and Palpatine told Anakin that he was right. The Jedi tried to take over, but security forces were able to stop them in time. Palpatine told Anakin that he was in danger, that Yoda cannot be trusted, as he must be in on all of this. And then he told Anakin that in moments, he will have to pick a side. Palpatine said that he will always trust Anakin to do what is right, and then he ended the call. Anakin then ran up the platform to where Yoda was, and he confronted the Grand Master. Anakin said he just spoke to Palpatine, and the Jedi just tried to kill him. Yoda asked what happened, and Anakin said that apparently Windu, Fisto, Kolar, and Tin tried to arrest Palpatine, but they were killed for treason. And Yoda honestly couldn't believe that Anakin couldn't see what was right in front of him. His worst fears were realized. If those Jedi were killed, then Palpatine must be the Sith Lord after all. Suddenly, both Anakin and Yoda felt a shift in the Force, like a great wave of darkness, as Appo and Gree listened to a new order in their helmets, Order 66, and it was spread across the galaxy. Appo turned to Anakin, telling him he must choose between the Chancellor and the Jedi. Anakin understood now, and he thought about the Jedi, Palpatine, and how Palpatine predicted the Jedi would try and take over. So Anakin turned back to Yoda, igniting his lightsaber. Yoda was about to tell Anakin that Palpatine is a Sith, but clones from all around them began to fire. Yoda had to defend himself, as suddenly Anakin swung on him as well. Yoda lunged forward, slamming into Anakin, and the two of them fell through the trees. Elsewhere, on Utapau, Order 66 was actually executed before Kenobi and Grievous completed their fight. Because of this, as the two of them were battling on a landing platform, Republic gunships flew by, blasting the entire area. The platform began to explode, and Grievous slammed into his ship. He growled in frustration, getting into his ship, and taking off, barely evading the clone gunships. Obi-Wan fell all the way to the ground, landing in the water, presumed dead. And back on Kashyyyk, Yoda tackled Anakin to the ground, force pushing him into a tree, putting his lightsaber to Skywalker's neck, telling him to think. Yoda yelled that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, he played both sides of the war, and that this is what the Jedi suspected. Yoda said they should have told Anakin sooner, but he must stand down immediately. And then Yoda said that Anakin's nightmares come from a path of darkness, from the Sith, and to avoid them, the Sith must be defeated. Anakin thought all of this over, and he realized that Yoda was right. If Palpatine survived an attack from 4 Jedi Council Masters, the only way he could do it is that he must be a Sith. It couldn't have been his security. It made no sense. And Anakin apologized, allowing Yoda to help him up. Now, the two of them had to get out of here. Yoda still wasn't sure he could trust Anakin, but what choice did he have? Anakin and Yoda would spend the evening, and most of the night trying to escape, but it was extremely difficult. With both the 41st and the 501st Clone Legions here, the 2 Jedi, even while trying to fight, were almost killed numerous times before going back into hiding. After around 12 hours, Anakin felt his comlink beeping again, and again it was Palpatine. This time, he answered with a newfound sense of purpose, telling Palpatine he would never join the Sith. Palpatine said this was a shame, and he increased the audio of his communicator until Anakin could hear Obi-Wan and Padme talking. Turns out Obi-Wan survived the Purge and went to Padme in order to find Anakin. Unfortunately, Palpatine also went to Padme, and Palpatine said that Anakin will pay with the loss of his 2 best friends. He put down the communicator, and Anakin could only listen, as Palpatine ignited a lightsaber, attacking the unsuspecting Obi-Wan. In Padme's apartment, she watched a shadow move through her balcony, and a red lightsaber went through Obi-Wan's back, killing him suddenly. Padme screamed in horror, and Sidious crushed the communicator. Anakin was left alone with Yoda, numb to his core, and Yoda knew now who the nightmares were about. Anakin took a minute, and then told Yoda they were going to get out of here and destroy Sidious, with anger and hatred radiating off of him. On Coruscant, Palpatine had everything he needed loaded onto his shuttle as he prepared to go to Mustafar. Reports from Utapau were that Grievous survived, and there was no doubt he would be going to Mustafar to tell the Separatist leaders they were betrayed. This was a loose end Sidious would handle himself. His new empire was rising, and he would not let the droid general get in his way. On Kashyyyk, Anakin and Yoda finally found a Wookiee camp away from it all, and the Wookiees allowed them to borrow a ship. As Anakin and Yoda debated where to go, Anakin realized something. He and Padme gave each other tracking devices once Anakin returned from the Outer Rim sieges, just in case anything went wrong on Kashyyyk. And Anakin realized that Padme's had moved from Coruscant to Mustafar. Perhaps she was still alive, captured by Sidious, and the Jedi had a location. So they traveled to Mustafar to find Sidious. On Mustafar, Grievous found the Separatist leaders and was speaking with them at the head table, telling them they were betrayed by Sidious, who was secretly working with the Republic this whole time. The leaders were ready to unite behind Grievous, with the Separatist armies on their side, when suddenly Grievous saw a hooded man at the door, Sidious. Grievous told Sidious he would die today, and the Dark Lord laughed, spraying lethal lightning into the room. Every single Separatist leader was hit, writhing on the floor in agony, as Grievous used his sabers to deflect the lightning. He was able to be repaired from Kenobi's attacks just in time to get here, and now the droid general leapt to the ceiling, crawling across it, kicking Sidious in the chest. Sidious flipped away, igniting his red lightsaber, lunging at Grievous. With a flurry of strikes, Grievous fought Sidious, his 4 lightsabers a blur of green and blue. Sidious moved with insane agility, sidestepping the attacks, retaliating with swift strikes of his own. And despite Grievous's ferocity, Sidious remained unfazed. His expression was a mask of cold determination. With each exchange, the Sith Lord gained ground, pushing Sidious and Grievous back towards the edge of the balcony. Sensing an opportunity, Sidious spun, cutting off 2 of Grievous's arms, then unleashed a barrage of Force lightning, engulfing the droid general. Grievous staggered under the assault, his mechanical form convulsing with each jolt, and Sidious stabbed him in the heart, pushing him far away into the lava below, and Grievous melted away. Sidious turned back to the Separatists with a smile, then moved through the room, slaughtering each one of them. And once he was finished, Sidious thought it was over, that he could go back to his empire. But the door opened behind him, and it was Anakin and Yoda. Sidious, though, could feel Anakin's anger. This was good. Anakin said he would pay for what he has done to Obi-Wan and Padme, igniting his lightsaber, the blade casting a glow across the... And Yoda stood beside him, his own lightsaber humming with anticipation. With an evil grin, Sidious reignited his own crimson saber, saying that he wanted to kill Kenobi for so long. And Anakin, with a scream, ran forward, the battle erupting as Anakin and Yoda launched themselves at the Sith Lord, their sabers flashing with the crimson blade of Sidious. And Sidious met their onslaught with ferocity. His strikes were extremely powerful, as he embraced the dark side. The three of them battled out of the facility, down to the hot landscape of Mustafar, across the rocky terrain. The sounds of clashing lightsabers echoed through the area, each strike reverberating with the weight of the galaxy in the balance. As the battle reached its peak, Anakin unleashed a barrage of devastating attacks, his rage driving him to the brink of darkness. Yoda, sensing the danger, attempted to intervene, but he was pushed away by a surge of a force push from Sidious. With another laugh, Sidious turned his attention back to Anakin, his eyes gleaming with the dark side. Sensing the conflict within Anakin, he taunted the young Jedi, tempting him with promises of power with the darkness. But Anakin swore to avenge Obi-Wan and Padme, telling the Sith that he has nothing to offer him, and Yoda jumped back to Anakin's side. Together now, Anakin and Yoda launched a coordinated assault, their lightsabers blazing as they fought side by side against the Sith Lord. With each strike, they pushed Sidious back, driving him towards the edge of the precipice overlooking the churning lava. The rocks under Sidious began to give out, and Anakin used the Force, calling a wave of lava that splashed over Sidious. He screamed out in pain as Yoda leapt forward, stabbing him through the heart, kicking the Sith Lord to the lava to burn away. Both Jedi breathed heavily, but it was over. The Sith were dead. They ran back to the landing platform, where Anakin found Sidious's shuttle, and Padme was alive, still inside of it. Sidious planned to steal the children, then kill Padme, but she was still alive, along with the children. On Coruscant, Padme, Anakin, and Yoda would inform the Senate of everything, and Palpatine's rule would come to a swift end, as Bail Organa replaced him as Chancellor, shutting down Order 66. The few Jedi that survived, around 100 total, would reunite on Tython, a beautiful planet where Anakin and Padme would raise Luke and Leia to eventually become Jedi as well, and a planet where Anakin would soon reunite with the ghosts of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, telling him he did well as a Jedi. And folks, that is where our story ends today. I always like doing Yoda Anakin stories. I think I've said that before. Appreciate you guys watching this one. If you do want to support, you can hit the like button, subscribe, become a member where there's just more exclusive content basically. So, much appreciated. Thanks to all of you for watching. Let me know what you thought. I just like the path of Anakin going off-world, and Sidious still kind of giving him a chance, but Yoda being able to be like, hey Anakin, snap out of it, dude. So, hope you guys enjoyed this story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.